Ben's last name be Dover. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, not funny, man. Not funny.
Almost as funny as 2 years ago when I heard you tell me that same joke in Vegas, right next to Chris Louis.
Some things stick with you.
Hello, my friends.
Thank you for joining us for the PEBCAK Podcast, a weekly information security show featuring some all-around good people. It is week 43 of 2025. I'm Jarvis Leonard III, Chris Louis, and managed to stay away from all that delicious Halloween candy to try and keep my weight loss goal. With me, I have my co-host, the Cloud God, who is suffering from a sugar hangover, and not just from his energy drinks, judging from the chocolate rings around his mouth.
Dude, you are casting some serious aspersions right now. So here is number 3 of the day. And it's only 10 o'clock in the morning, so rock and roll. That's how we go. How is the weight loss journey? You're looking very boyish lately.
So far, so good. I think I hit a plateau. I'm down 23 pounds, so it's that last 7 that's giving me problems. But
all right. Well, we wish you good luck.
Thank you. I haven't gained, and I've been maintaining, so I think that in itself is a win.
We love Fat Chris Louis, but because he's so jolly. And skinny Chris Louis is kind of annoying. So
yeah.
Bring her back. Bring back the thicky Nicky.
It's true. My wife did say she had a coworker. She went on like a gluten-free diet, lost a ton of weight, but no one wanted to be around her anymore because her personality totally changed.
Just talking about gluten all day. Yeah.
And we do not have Glenn this week due to travel schedules and him focusing all his time on acquiring as much free candy as he can. Priceless. Priorities. Our first guest this week is my good friend Benjamin Humes. He goes by Jammin. We be Jammin. Jammin works with me on the post-sales team here at Zscaler. Longtime listener, first-time caller. So welcome to the show, Jammin.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
And he's the only one not on video because Lord knows why. He probably doesn't get on video for his customers either.
I'll get on
He
video
doesn't want
for
you to see
you
the
real
candy
quick.
he's eating.
Not the only bald
Man.
one on the show, Brian.
Dude, look at that. Is that teak in the background? Wait, is that solid oak? What do we got going on over there?
The wood
This thing?
frames.
Yeah, the wood frames around the windows.
Those are solid oak, and then the little skeleton dude up there, I don't know what they made him out of.
Bones,
Bone.
because it's scary.
Likely bones, yep.
Yeah. Very nice.
See, I was just impressed at the beard that was there, not looking at the wood in the background or anything like that, but that's just me.
It is a little
Beard
bit more
envy.
impressive
Epic
than
beard.
the other beards on the call. Yeah, that's for sure.
So every time I trim it, it just gets shorter and shorter and more pathetic. I'm telling you.
That's the intent when you trim it.
Well, there's your problem.
Well, the real problem is like I have to wear these collared shirts, and when I have a nice girthy beard, like it just flails up, like it just looks crazy. So I had to start taking it down.
Got to put like the biker braid in.
Yeah, people said the ability to say girthy on this podcast is impossible, but I nailed it. So
Good job, Brian.
you're
And
welcome.
Since we have a fourth mystery voice on the podcast today, we do have the returning Ben Coral. For the first time ever, we've had 2 Bens on the show, so welcome back, Ben.
50% of the cast or characters this time have a fantastic name.
It's true. We're almost outnumbered, Brian.
I know it's always good to have Ben. He's one of my favorite people, that's for sure.
Yeah,
And maybe Jammin will get there, but it's my limited interactions.
I know. And that beard envy.
That's true. We'll never be able to be friends with my beard looking better than yours. So.
I'm not that bad. So. I'm the one not friending you in this scenario. You son of a gun.
Combined, we have decades of information security experience and are here not just to educate, but to entertain. So we've got 4 awesome stories for this week. So sit back, relax, and 6-7.
Okay,
Dictionary.com's word of the year, a number 6-7. This week, we're going to talk about a brief closing the loop topic, revisit our sports gambling story from last week. Ransomware shows us their financial statements. For our third topic, the cloud keeps crashing, and close with Halloween talk. Closing the loop this week, back in August on episode 221, we reported that the UK Ministry of Defense accidentally sent out a spreadsheet with the names of 19,000 Afghan collaborators, thinking they were only sharing out 13 names because the rows were hidden. We now have some sad news to report that this may be the deadliest data leak in history. 49 people are known to have been killed as a result of the data leak. Those killed were not directly named on the list, but were colleagues or family members of people whose names did appear in that Excel spreadsheet. The UK spent billions of dollars trying to relocate these collaborators, but unfortunately they didn't get everybody's family and colleagues as well.
That is insane. That is so sad. And oddly enough, last week I was in Houston and I was talking to this, what I thought was a younger kid. Turns out he was a little bit older, but he was actually from Afghanistan. He was a translator. He started at 15 years old. And so we're going to have him on as a guest here pretty soon. Really interesting dude, crazy story. And he's thriving in IT. So it's kind of wild to see his progression.
Good.
Well, that's a great story.
Yeah, I'm glad we at least took care of the people that we did. We didn't take care of enough, but we hopefully took care of at least some of them.
Yeah. Do you think there's a hit list, like even if you're outside of Afghanistan, like they could be targeting people in the UK and US? And
I'm sure they're being targeted. Yeah, it's whether or not the Taliban has the reach like Mossad does, but to go beyond their borders.
Wow. It's like Doctors Without Borders, but doing bad things.
The opposite.
I mean, so we started talking about, Halloween, the candy, the sugar rushes, and we went right down real quick with this with this first story.
Yeah. Whose idea was this, Chris?
Let's close the loop. I'm like, I saw an update to this. I'm like, oh, that's not ideal, but I just wanted to bring the news and follow up to a story that we reported on last 2 months ago.
Yeah, it's wild.
All right, from assassination to something maybe a little bit lighter. For our first real topic, we're revisiting our topic 4 from last week when we discussed how some sports superstars got caught in a sports bet rigging scandal and a shady underground poker game. It turns out after we recorded last week's episode, it was revealed by our U.S. Department of Justice that some of the evidence that led to the indictment and arrest was provided by none other than our favorite privacy advocate and phone maker, Apple. Apparently, the people who were cheating at the poker games took pictures with their iPhone of the poker tables with the built-in X-ray machines, the modified and hacked shuffling machines, and those special glasses and playing cards that allowed them to cheat. Those pictures were uploaded to Apple's iCloud backup, and Apple provided the evidence under court order. Text messages released by authorities described conversations about managing suspicions during the games. So if you've ever seen that movie Rounders, you can't win every hand without looking suspicious. You have to occasionally lose and act the part of a loser. As we learned in the San Bernardino terrorism case, Apple will not unlock your phone for investigators, but they will hand over your iCloud backups if they exist.
Did Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell or whatever her name, did they happen to have an iCloud backup that we can look at?
I don't know how their OPSEC was.
Damn it. Yeah. Come on. I don't know. That's whatever. I don't care. Let's get on the Epstein files instead.
No, but that's the thing. The first time I read this, I was like, did they not learn anything from Pete Rose and his gambling when he was managing the Cincinnati Reds? And for anybody who's under 40 and doesn't get that reference, one of the managers of Major League Baseball was made ineligible to be in the Hall of Fame, Baseball Hall of Fame, because he bet against his team while he was managing that team. So, sports betting, gambling, all of those things, it's just... never understood it.
Yeah, Pete Rose got caught with that. That was his thing too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. And it wasn't until May of this year that he was eligible for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And they let him in, right? Or did they not?
Now you're asking me to remember things?
I was hoping Chairman would know. He looks like a baseball guy.
I am actually not a sports guy at all, but I do find this story. What gave it away? It is interesting that they were able to.
As of 28. Sorry, John.
No, you're good.
Okay.
You're good. I think it's interesting that they were able to get the data out of their iCloud backups. Should make me suspicious of how well encrypted my data is with Apple.
It's very well encrypted. So I have a link in the show notes actually to Apple's official privacy policy. They actually take encryption very seriously, and it's the fact that the data is encrypted, but Apple has the keys so they can unlock it. That's the linchpin there. So if a hacker gets in and they don't have the keys, there's no way they can get it. But that's where ADP comes in, and we're not in the business of helping criminals do crime better, but if you do happen to plan on committing a crime, you might want to turn on this feature called Advanced Data Protection, where the keys only live on your devices and Apple has no access to the keys. So even under court order, subpoena, NSA, nobody can get into their backups without your physical device.
Yep. Pros and cons there, because if your devices are lost, it's stolen, and all of those keys could be lost with you as well. So you lose access to your data as well. So there's pros and cons to both of those. But like you said, not trying to help criminals out here.
This is one of those things where it's like they take it very serious, right? And so forget about that backup. Philly, they do have the private key somewhere. It's probably safeguarded and whatever, but you're only, I guess, as secure as your weakest link. I think one of our friends was showing like an audit of a company's, let's say firewall policy, in which someone had left over a year ago, and one of the changes that they had made had threw in like every category that should never be allowed as an allow, and it took it over a year before someone actually picked up on it. It's just a matter of time before those private keys end up on some developer's home machine, and it's just leaked out, and then all backups are just subject to be opened by whomever, whenever.
Human error.
Human error. Thank you.
And
That's what I was
hopefully
trying to
that's
say.
error and not like making things wide open intentionally. Disgruntled employees, insider.
Yeah, that insider threat is very real, and so you have to plan for that. Even if you have a motivated insider threat, how do you prevent that insider threat from doing any serious damage?
Does insider threat include insider stupidity? Is that a definition in there that you guys throw around over there, Ben?
Does insider threat include insider stupidity?
Yeah. Like the road to hell is paved with good intentions, right? So I would think that
it does cover accidental things that are being done. So we're going to leave it with accidental or inadvertent things. We're not going to call it stupidity. We'll just leave it a little more vague there.
Brian likes labels.
So I was on a call earlier today, and we were talking about data security, and I sometimes I take the highest ranking official that's on the phone, which was a CISO, and I was like, oh, we'll take Brian for instance, right? Like he does something. I was talking about workflow automation, and so I can send him a message on Slack and be like, hey, stupid, why'd you break this rule? Now I'm starting to think maybe I shouldn't have said that, but that's okay.
You know your audience, Brian. Know your audience.
Roll with the punches, right? It's all fun and games.
Exactly, but yeah, I mean,
no, I said, hey, dummy. Hey, dummy, why would you do that? So.
Yeah, I think it's a common misconception that when you hear my data is encrypted, that it's inaccessible, and the two are not the same. Apple has your keys. Like, if you're going to do crime, you upload these photos. And I mean, there's some idiots out there that just like upload it on TikTok or Instagram or something. Like, okay, yeah, there's not even encryption that's open to the public. Like, you're going to get nailed. But some people, for some reason, I don't know why, they took pictures of their crime evidence, like look at me, I'm hacking the shuffle machine so that I always get double aces, and then they just save it, upload it. It's encrypted, but under court order, Apple will turn it over unless you have ADP turned on.
Well, I not say I've never not taken a stupid picture of doing something stupid. So,
And uploaded it to Google Photos.
and let it get backed up. Yep.
Who amongst us hasn't? Let he who has never done that cast the first stone.
There's a.
Look
I
at
was
you,
in-
Brian.
Yeah. So luckily it wasn't me, but I was in Vegas with somebody.
Had
And
to
as we
bring
were
up
walking-
Vegas. Come on, man.
Yeah.
No.
Let me guess. What happened there
No.
didn't stay there.
No, what happened? Like, so we were like walking like from hotel to, they have like the bridges, and there was like some dude who's like, pay me $20, you can kick me between my legs. And the guy that I'm with, who's now like kind of way up there, like he took him up on the offer, and the guy like he took it like a champ. Like it was like there was nothing down there. It was insane.
You did
But
not.
there is a video of that's out there.
I don't think that's illegal. That's two consenting adults, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, but like if there was a video of Ben kicking some dude, like that would look without context, without the entire video, it was just clipped down to just 1 second before the field goal, right?
Okay. It's just like power
That's
in the
gonna
kisser.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So
And-
since you
and
mentioned
I
Ben,
like how
I'm gonna
Brian
look for this
says
video
that.
of Ben now.
Yeah. Brian says somebody else did it. He's not saying he broke out, a Benjamin of his own and said, "Here you go, bro."
He's like, here, this one's
I-
good for
I
5,
did.
right?
So I did not pay for it, and I did not participate, but I did hold the camera. So
You're an accomplice.
I guess that technically I'm an accomplice, but there was a guy on America's Got Talent that was doing that, but it was crazy. Did you guys remember seeing that one?
No.
No.
Oh yeah, like he was on he had someone like he's standing over like a teeter totter, and they drop a brick on the other side, and the thing comes up and slams, and he's
Oh,
just
is
like,
that
No.
unaffected by it.
Was the guy's name Horse?
Yes, it was Horse. Dang, look at that recall.
I
Jeez.
didn't see him on America's Got Talent, but I remember when Web Soup was a thing with Joel McHale. Like he was always on there, and they had a segment called Nut Shots, and that guy was always on there.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like that defeats the whole purpose. Like my daughter's always like talking about childbirthing versus getting kicked between the legs. I'm like, it's gotta be no, getting kicked between the legs is way worse. But Horse is over here just ruining my story.
Right? What was the joke that said women will say, "Oh, I want more children," and you never hear men say, "Oh yeah, I want to get kicked in the nuts again."
Never. Yeah, never.
All right.
Well,
And that's my argument.
You
But
got to
it doesn't
change
stand.
that. You can't say never because there's one guy out there who's ruined it for the rest of us.
It's true. That horse. All right, since we somehow got into nut shots, we probably will change the topic for our second topic. This will be our ransomware story of the week. According to a new report from Coveware, specializing in ransomware tracking and recovery services, ransomware payments have hit an all-time low as victims stop paying attackers. Current data suggests that just 23% of victims pay the ransom to recover their systems or to prevent their data from being leaked online. In newer extortion-only attacks or encryption-less ransomware, that payment rate drops down to just 19%. For a little bit of context, this is down from a high of 83%, so more than 4 out of 5 back in 2019 paid the ransom, and today that's just a little over 1 in 5. The median ransom payment was just $144,000, so is this proof that law enforcement takedowns and companies taking security better is making a difference?
I mean, or is it just like in 2019, 100 people were hacked and 83 of them paid, and in 2025, 1.6 trillion people were hacked. 23% of that number actually paid. Like I don't know. Like it's
And that's the thing, without seeing a little bit more, because I could sit here and say that you have federal law enforcement agencies have shared decryption keys. You've got stories where companies paid, but the decryption key didn't work, or they were not able to restore their main ERP database or something like that. And now that person, even if they're in a new company, isn't going to pay because like we paid last time and we didn't get our data back. There's so many other reasons why, but I look at an 83% number. That was only 6 years ago. I see that as a really high number and doubt that 83% of ransomware, extortion, all of those would have been paying. So I want to know Were those large enterprises? Were those what? In order to get you those types of numbers versus the 19 or 23% now.
Dude, on the real quick on the decryption key thing, there's I don't even know if I want to say his name, but there is someone at Zscaler that was, I think, part of like Threat Labs, and that he does like a lot of the reverse engineering on malware and ransomware. And he said that he's like been able to create the decryption keys and shares it with like, federal law enforcement. And I'm just like, I look at them like, how much money do you think you've saved companies? Like
Millions.
compared to, yeah, like, I mean, probably hundreds of millions of dollars compared to the rabbit food he gets paid. Like, it's insane to be that good, to be that smart, right? And then to be compensated. Like, I think when you turn over those keys, like, it's just kind of an attaboy. Like, I don't know that there's like a GoFundMe that says thank you for these people that do that work. It's kind of crazy.
He gets paid in karma.
1%.
Yeah,
paid
definitely.
in karma, yes.
Yeah, karma doesn't pay the bills, guys. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, unlike Jam in here, he creates fake decryption keys and gives companies false hope that
I
they get their data.
can neither confirm nor deny any of my activities outside of work on this.
And he
What is the
charges
decryption
for
key?
that fake key too. So he's the exact opposite of what Brian was talking about.
Gavin's
he's
like,
it-
yeah, good karma doesn't pay the bills. Bad karma doesn't either. So we'll rack up some bad
Damn it.
karma.
It's true.
Have you really created decryption keys? Have you been able to like reverse engineer and do that for someone?
Me? No.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, man, we're in the presence of excellence right now.
I
Like,
had every
goddamn.
opportunity to lie right there. Yeah, nope. That's,
did. No,
that's
we
just
wouldn't
Chris
fact
talk.
check you.
Yeah.
It is.
Ooh, Chris Talk instead of TikTok. We have an idea
Ooh,
here.
there.
There you go.
Next spinoff.
Servers
Yeah.
hosted in the U.S.
I love it.
And some of it for the ransomware is it's weak encryption. Like there's an error in the way they implement the encryption, so it makes it easily guessable, or they have some kind of master key. And sometimes it's like vibe coding. Sometimes when people use vibe coding, they steal someone else's source code and they try to implement it themselves, change a few things here and there, but they don't really understand the crypto of it, and then they implement it wrong. And that's how we get these free or universal decryptors out of it.
That's
Were
interesting.
you
I
with
was-
me when I was talking to him?
No, I think you were at Zenith,
Yeah.
and I wasn't invited this year, Brian.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. We were not invited.
Only important people were invited. So
Yeah, apparently. Javin and I didn't make the list.
Ben was,
I thought it was the reverse of that. I had too much important work to do to go.
ooh, I
Ben.
like that. You did the work so that I could go hang out. Yes,
That's correct,
you're right.
Ben. Yes. One of the Bens had to go, right?
There can only be one.
Do you guys think
So-
that these reports are actually really far off because companies are not reporting the payment anymore?
Yep.
Yeah. 100%. This is like ransomware payments are way underreported, and this is just a fraction of what we see out there.
Yeah.
I'm sure Ben Coral probably, talking CISO to CISO, probably knows of like lots of cases where people will just silently pay it or quietly pay it, make it go away, and then they end up not reporting it, which is not the right thing to do, but from a PR standpoint, I get why they do that.
Yeah, and then again, we've gone in length on that on a couple of different discussions and everything, but that's that thing is you have to sit there and think about your reputation, how quickly you're going to restore, get back up and running, whether you have a decision where you've agreed that you would never pay. Well, then when it actually happens, that truly is a business decision of, can we be down for 3 weeks? We're losing $1 million a day. Can we be down for weeks? Or is it worth the risk in order to pay for this and get back up and running? Yeah. Again, business decisions have to be made in the heat of really that battle.
It's a tough
And then-
decision on what's probably the worst day of your life.
Yeah. So you want those decisions ahead of time. But then to Brian's point of, are they all being reported? Now that we have some of these SEC, is it material? Well, Is it material enough that you had this? Was it bad enough? Maybe bad enough that you paid, but not bad enough that it was truly material for your organization, depending on what your definition of materiality is for said organization. Could be another reason, or even if you did fill out an 8K as is required, that you still don't say what type of cyber incident it was. So maybe it's still not being reported, even with some of the new requirements for reporting.
I guess that's true for at least from the SEC standpoint. You just have to report that something happened. You don't have to go into detail. Was it ransomware? Was it insider threat? Was it an accidental disclosure? You just have to say you suffered some kind of event.
Yeah,
That's the downside. It's like the JFK files or Area 51. It's just like something happened, but they never really divulge exactly all the details. It would be so much better if they did.
Based off these statistics, I was just curious if any of you guys knew, are these just publicly traded companies that they're reporting these statistics on, or would this be any company?
According to Codeware, I think it's any company, because Codeware is they're the recovery service. I think they also have like an arm that does the ransomware negotiation, so they're really on the front lines of what's going on out there. So I think it's public and private.
Yeah. Some of the other things, based on what I was reading about a month or three back, is some of these companies don't want to admit that they paid a ransom because you were 2/3 more likely to be hit with a ransom, a second, if you had paid that first ransom as well. So, you're now a confirmed organization that is paid. So you don't want to admit that you paid even if you did. So maybe that's another reason for the underreporting of some of these things too.
That's part of the law enforcement guidance. They say
Dave, he's here.
Overwhelmingly, every law enforcement agency says don't pay. Okay, number one, you're encouraging more of this to happen. Number two, there's no guarantees. Number three, you're admitting that you came in, that you negotiate with terrorists, so to speak, and that puts a bigger target on your back. And there are countless stories I remember of organizations getting ransomware like 3 times. That they got hit once, they paid, they recovered, they got hit again. Like either they didn't evict them, or they know that they're an easy target and somebody else found another way in, and their security's not quite so tight.
I feel like if I got hit with ransomware 3 times, I just give up. They're like,
Fold
what?
up.
It's just not even worth it. I'm not
It was
going
a
to
good
recover
run.
anymore. I'm walking out. Yep.
It was a good run.
Can you imagine if you're a CISO that had like 3 significant breaches and trying to apply for a job? Like, are you one janitor or what are you trying to do here? I don't understand.
Oh, I think Ben has a unique perspective on that one, and I'm sort of in agreement with him. Like it doesn't always fall on the CISO. Like, yes, it's a bad look, and there are I can't remember the guy's name from BP, the one that oversaw the Deepwater Horizon, and he did just fine. Like people thought he'd never work again, and he got a cushy gig doing something else. And number one, it's not always your fault. Number two, people have very short memories.
Well, yeah, like if you identify the risk and report it up, then you're okay. I think that's what Ben said before, but where there's smoke, there's fire. It keeps happening over and over again. Maybe your ability to execute and communicate that information up to the business just sucks.
I was going to say maybe that's your lack of ability to influence up and down.
Yeah.
So you should be a consultant, not a practitioner at that point.
Yeah.
Cheerleader.
Advisor.
Cheerleader.
For our third topic, it's not DNS. There's no way it's DNS. Well, it was DNS. Over the last 2 weeks, we've seen major outages in the top 2 hyperscalers due to DNS failures. Not going to go into really deep of what exactly happened, but just know that it was a DNS issue on both times. The first one was Amazon Web Services, where they took down US East 1, and that had the effect of taking down major online services such as Amazon themselves, Alexa, Fortnite, Perplexity, Canva, Robinhood, Roblox, and even Duolingo. And I think somebody put a note in here that said, hopefully that didn't end anybody's daily streak. I bet everybody got like a free freeze that day or something, because, yeah, if you can access it. not to be left in second place, Microsoft's Azure cloud also suffered a major outage affecting Microsoft 365 services in Azure. Other MS services like Entra ID, Copilot, Purview, Intune, and Outlook were all affected. And I saw someone post in our company chat tool that they also said like the Starbucks app was down or something too. So I don't know if that was as widely reported. I don't know if it was related, but couldn't order Starbucks. Microsoft was down. Kind of makes sense. Well, that leads to basically two questions. Is GCP number 3? Are they next? Google Cloud, are they next? It's their turn, I suppose. And the other question I have is, should hyperscalers be regulated like the biggest banks are here in the U.S.?
It's only a matter of time for GCP, right? Like you said, they're next.
It's like a ticking time bomb.
It's also really good to know that the "it's almost always DNS" mindset for networking problems is translated up into these massive cloud environments.
I do think it's funny when you do think about cloud. It's like the first one is always Amazon or AWS, and then the second one is Azure. And then Google's like, but what about me? What about me? We do stuff too. So
we do DNS too. We promise.
In terms of growth, Google's the fastest growing one of the 3.
Yeah, and Oracle is sitting there saying, we're relevant. We're relevant.
I actually had a customer that had all 4 this morning. I was like, wow, you guys you're everywhere. I like it. All for different use cases too, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, should they do any regulation? Absolutely not, unless they start selling regulation stuff. So,
I think that's.
I mean,
I'd say is that like posture management? I guess it's ancillary to that. I guess configuration. It'd be more of your architecture is resilient because, like, here in the U.S. we have 4 systemically important banks like Citi, B of A, Chase, Wells Fargo, and they have to undergo really, really strict and thorough stress tests because they never want 2008 to happen again. We don't want another great financial crisis. So they say, well, what happens if this happens? What happens if the unemployment rate goes to 30%? Are you got to be okay? What happens if you auto loans have a 9% default rate? What happens if they go under really, really strict stress testing? And I think the cloud should at maybe some version of that, the cloud, like what happens if US East 1 falls off the map? Everybody talks about HA, redundancy, availability zones, but as we saw in this major outage, that took out a quarter of the internet, and things didn't fail over as well as we thought they would.
But I think when you talk about regulation, like you're suggesting that we need to regulate these cloud providers, right? AWS, Azure, GCP, Oracle, maybe someday if they ever catch up. But what about the applications that also drive the U.S. economy that are hosted on these platforms that have been poorly implemented on these platforms? Are you suggesting that we should regulate them as well?
And that's the problem. Where do you start? Where do you end? Who does the regulation? What aspects are they regulating? And I look at some of the regulations that have been passed, and they're passed by lawmakers, not by technologists. It sounds good in theory, but there's no way to technically do the things that they're regulating be done, or they're impractical, meaning you have to do these things, but there's really no value. So it's regulation for regulation's sake instead of actually providing real meaningful improvement or reduction of risk.
Yeah, you're
imagine some. Good.
I was gonna say, you are correct. Like if Amazon was called before Congress, 3 weeks ago, and they said, "Prove to us that you're redundant," like on paper, everything would look perfect, and then somehow through I don't remember the exact RCA of why Amazon went down in DNS. They flushed the cache and all the DNS entries disappeared, something like that. It's just something, I don't know if you can prepare for that, but at the same time, like Roblox or Duolingo, you shouldn't have a single point of failure. US East 1 shouldn't be your single point of failure. So to Jamin's point, it's also on the application owners to have those redundancies built in too.
Right. I mean, how many customers have you talked to and they're only deployed in one region? And in worst cases, they're only deployed in one region and they only have one VPC in AWS. Like it's insane. And that's how they make all their money.
Yeah. See, and what's the intent of passing these? And because we were talking banks and finance and other things, GLBA comes to mind. So a financial act, Financial Services Act is being passed. But is it called the Financial Services Act? No, it's called GLBA, named after the 3 senators or representatives who passed it. Graham, Leach, and Bliley. So did you care about passing regulation, or did you just want your name associated with you passing legislation or regulation? What is the intent behind it? And so I like the idea, the intent, if it's done right, done well, but I don't think we've seen it done extremely well yet.
I think it's hard.
Wait till you hear about my new language. Yeah, CBBB. Yeah.
I think it's hard too because, like Ben Coral said, who writes this legislation? And to be fair, it's like I want a technologist to write it. Like Ron Wyden comes to mind. Like he knows technology and security pretty well. But I won't call anyone out, but there are much older people that don't know what a cloud is or don't know what the cloud is. They're not the ones that should be writing this. And I say we should bring in, you do this public-private thing, but I'm like, well, the 3 major hyperscalers, that's kind of like writing regulation to regulate yourself. It's like, fox in the hen house. And it gets challenging to figure out what the right balance is there. And the other risk is regulatory capture. So the top 3, right, regulations so strict that a newcomer can't even make it because the regulations are too tight.
Or someone like Google backs out because they don't want to deal with it.
Yeah. Well, Google wouldn't back out, but like, I don't know, Rackspace.
Right, Google's never been known to kill products before, right?
No, this is their golden goose.
Yeah.
They're going
That's right. I think these incidents drive more self-regulation too, right? Amazon, AWS makes money by staying up all the time, right? We pay lots of money to host things there. I seriously doubt they're brushing this off and saying, whoops, guess we'll try better next time. And I'm sure that they're coming up with process improvements internally that will drive to better outcomes down the road, right? So
let the market.
I'm a firm believer that you don't need regulation at a legal, federal, whatever level to facilitate improvement.
Who knew Janet was such a capitalist?
Well,
but again, that's what drives it.
You said something about older people and politicians not even knowing what a cloud was, and I wasn't going to say, but I'm going to say it now. You ever think Joe Biden looks up at clouds and then turns to his wife and says, "What's that?" Like, that's the only thing that I thought of when he said that.
The internet's up there. No,
it's a series of
I don't know. Like you keep saying that, like Google's growing like crazy, but like if Google only has 10 customers and they grow 30% year over year, that's like 3. Like,
it's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, are we only seeing the percentages, or are they actually showing the customer base that they're growing? And is it on par with AWS and Azure?
No, AWS I want to say is 36-ish. Azure is probably like high 20s, low 30s, and then Google's like 18, I want to say, something around there. But I mean, you're right. The smaller you are, the faster you can grow. At AWS, you can't grow 30% a year. Like their business is just way too big.
And I'm sure search is still
search is getting killed by AI.
Yeah, search. Yeah,
they have to disrupt themselves.
Is the Open AI browser out yet? Are you guys using it? I know you aren't, Chris, because
I'm not
a Grok guy. But
I like privacy. Yeah. Just think of feeding all that telemetry data to OpenAI. Like, no thanks.
Yeah, no.
Like, I might try it just to say I did it, but I'm not going to switch my daily browser. I use the privacy-centric one, Brave.
I'm still using Internet Explorer.
Internet Explorer.
Version 7.
I was just going to say that. You beat me to it. It was right on the tip of my tongue, too.
All right, we are coming up on time. So for our last topic, it'll be a rotating topic every week. This week, we're going to talk about your favorite Halloween pastimes. last week was our Halloween episode, but we are recording around the actual holiday. I want to see what your fondest memories are of Halloween, like trick-or-treating, specific candies, or any urban legend horror stories that you had to live through.
I'll go first.
All at once.
I live in Pennsylvania.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, well, now we're all going to go all at once. Perfect. I don't know if it's specific to Halloween or not, but have any of you heard of the Gingrich murders? The Amishman who murdered his wife in front of his kids.
No.
Okay. Well, it's a pretty terrible story. He had a lot of mental health issues, and he actually lived a country block away from me. I grew up on a small farm in Pennsylvania, and so that was always the kind of crazy story that was going around. But I also enjoy carving pumpkins. I think it's not quite the season until you carve a pumpkin and stick it outside so it can rot and stay there all winter.
Winter, Jesus, dude.
I mean, that was a hard turn there of going on.
Another open with
free to
people
dissect it.
dying.
See,
Nice
I
cold
was
open
gonna
there.
jump in and say, I remember in middle school, you find the one house that was giving out the full size candy bars.
Full-size bars,
so you go
yeah.
around a corner and you trade costumes with your buddies so you can go back and get another full-size candy bar and little things like that. But
Ben had such a happy childhood, didn't he? That's nice.
Yeah. I remember I was like second or third grade. I wanted to be the Joker for Halloween, and like I thought I had the best outfit or costume ever. I got to school and somebody else like way cooler than me. I was like, this is bullshit. Like I don't want to be here anymore. Yeah.
Did your guys' parents ever make costumes for you? Like, did your mom
of
ever
course.
sew one together?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What's the worst one that your mom ever made for you?
The Joker outfit, yeah.
That exact one. That's
about you?
funny. For me, it was claimed not Barney because it was different colors, but it absolutely was Barney. And I had to wear this
purple
massive dinosaur
Rubble.
costume. Yeah, that thing was
Purple
hot,
dinosaur.
man.
Yeah.
It was packed full of stuff. That was awful. So if you're listening to this, Mom, I'm sorry.
Bernie Mac. All right.
I think I mostly had store-bought costumes. I did the pumpkin. I had the pumpkin T-shirt. I had the Ninja Turtle, and then I think as I
somebody
got
grew
older,
up with money. Nice. Yeah.
I think we just like made things. I had like a Cat in the hat, so I just walked around as Cat in the Hat.
so he didn't just have it for Halloween. He had costumes year round.
That actually
That's the type
tracks
of money
really
that Chris
well
came
with.
from.
I mean, it's just a T-shirt with a jack-o'-lantern on it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I would say like our tradition is, and this is the last year that I'm actually doing it. Didn't even know, but I used to take the kids. Like as soon as it got to dusk, we'd go out, and the idea was to fill up like a garbage bag full of candy. And like it would get so big, sometimes we'd have to go back to the house, dump it off, and come back
Pillowcase,
and pick up
man.
more.
A pillowcase. Those aren't going to rip.
But it got too heavy for them because they were little. But this is the first year that my daughter can drive, and so she's like, "I'm going with my friends." I'm like, "Whatever, loser." So have fun.
I thought I was your friend.
Handing out candy.
Yeah.
See, but
This is-
what Brian's not telling you, because he told me he did this last year, is he went out
God.
last year. They went trick or treating for the first hour, gathered all that candy, went back to their house, and that's the candy they started giving out. So he did not have to buy candy.
Fun fact: I've never handed out candy in my entire adult life.
Never, huh?
Oh, he's a
Never.
taker, not a giver.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Let's go egg Brian's house.
Lights are off. Do not come over here. Well, how would I if I'm going like from neighborhood to neighborhood, confiscating as much candy?
I just told you how.
No, I'm from sundown to sun up. I'm out there grinding, brother.
You're out there just slinging on the streets.
Oh, and he has a carton of eggs in his back seat and some toilet paper for everybody else who doesn't have their lights on.
Oh my gosh.
So I will say,
So
Hard-
are you handing out candy this year, Brian?
No, I won't. I'm not.
Oh my gosh.
On the moon.
This is a sad year for me. I have twin boys. They're 15, and they've decided they do not want to trick or treat this year, and they're having a Halloween party with their friends, and now I get to
R.I.P.
hand out candy.
We'll say a
It's
heartwarming
too
story
cold for
that
you to
I have
Yeah, go for
was last. So I, like Brian, I take my kids out trick-or-treating, so the house is left alone. But we leave a bowl out, and with the sign that says, please take one. And we left the bowl with
One bowl.
ample amount of candy in there. And then near the end of the night, because we go out pretty late, and then near the end of the night, like the bowl is empty. And then some kids came up. They were like maybe early high school, I would say. They looked in the bowl and they said, "Oh, there's no more candy here." And then I think there was 3 or 4 of them. Like, then they all like reach into their bag. They refilled the bowl from their stash, which I thought was really nice. Because you see all those
That's awesome.
You see all those videos online and on TikTok and Instagram of people like an adult will just walk up, empty the entire bowl into their backpack. You see like jerks like that, but it's still good to see videos of like younger generation like doing the right thing and say, "Oh, they're all out. Let's take some of ours and give it to them."
That had a surprise ending like The Sixth Sense. Wow. All right.
I mean, last year, Brian and I, we just took the entire bowl and put the bowl in our bags.
We went straight to the store, loaded up a grocery cart, and just ran out with it. We just
Halloween
committed a
surprise.
felony. Just kidding.
Misdemeanor. It's a misdemeanor.
Yeah, it depends on the state and the dollar value.
True.
He threw like 9 rock stars in there to really drive that price up too.
Yeah.
They were all empty.
Get me through the night. Get me through the night.
So I will say one of the more absurd things that I don't know if growing up with, but it's in the news literally every year. Like they're like people putting drugs in the candy, people putting razor blades in apples. Like you go on Snopes, like that literally never happens. And one of the funniest rebuttals that I've seen was someone, there's a news story that says, "Oh, people are giving out, weed's legal in California. You're gonna get, weed edibles in your kids' candy." And these stoners like, "There's no way. If I have weed gummies, I'm taking them for myself. I'm not giving those things away. They're expensive."
I give those.
Or the same thing with I think it was, of course, it was in Florida. There's a story about Florida that, "Oh, people got to put meth in candy, so you got to watch out." And then someone commented, it's like, "Have you ever known meth heads? Like, they're not giving away their meth. You don't have to worry about that. That's a non-story." So yeah, those are some of the things. Like when I would bring my bucket home, my parents would go through it, and if there's anything like, some people would like
half unwrapped, right? Yeah.
Like get a giant bag of M&Ms, put it in tinier bags, and they're like, "No,
Oh,
that,
no,
and
yeah.
someone's
Or
messed
like
with that,
the
so no."
my parents used
Oh,
to
I
do that
thought you were
same
going to
thing
go
too, right?
over the dad tax and stuff. But I see where you're going.
Oh no, that's afterward. You gotta make sure
That's
it's
a real
safe.
thing. Yeah,
You don't want to eat the
taste
poison
test.
either.
Yeah, and taste testing it.
Yeah. I remember one time my parents used to always preach that to us, and we were on our way back home after trick or treat, and we used to, because I live out in the middle of nowhere, so it was like go to all 3 towns that are close by. I'm home and I'm mowing down on Laffy Taffy, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what's this hard thing in my mouth?" "Oh, it's poison." And I start literally losing my mind. They had placed such fear into me. It was just a tooth that popped out, but I thought for sure I was dead.
We're glad you're still alive.
Yeah.
Thanks, me too, guys.
Well, we continue to get great comments about our dad joke of the week. Dad joke of the week. This week, our guest Jammin and Ben Coral are up. So I'll let Jammin go first since he's a first-time caller.
Oh, I'm so excited. All right. I don't know if it's a dad joke. I'll let you guys be the judge of it or not, but I am a dad and it is a joke. So, Irishman walks into a library, walks up to the librarian and says, "1 fish and chips, please." Librarian looks back at him, somewhat confused, and says, "Sir, this is a library." He says, "Oh, I'm sorry. 1 fish and chips, please." And I did come prepared with one more. Somewhat in line with Halloween. What is a pirate's favorite restaurant? Arby's. Yeah.
Oh, nice. I got it.
See, you guys have heard that.
I haven't heard it, but I was trying to think. Like, Arby's. Okay.
Nice. Both good ones. Well done.
All right, Coral, you're up.
All right. Sticking with our Halloween theme. What position does a ghost play in soccer?
The goalie.
Striker.
The goalkeeper.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, since Brian didn't get that one, I'll let him redeem himself here. What room does the ghost not need in their house?
The bathroom.
Yeah, no. You're 0 for 2. The living room.
It was so obvious.
It was. Looking back at it, my
All right.
toilet humor has failed me again.
I'm gonna sneak one in since Jan made a pirate joke. What's a pirate's
Alright.
favorite letter?
Arr.
You would think it's R, but it's actually the C.
Oh my gosh. I hate that I like that so much.
Thank you. We're here all week.
Yet another surprise ending, like the Cosby Show. Wow.
Oh,
All right, the wrap
you had
things
to
up.
end it on that. Really?
iCloud backups are not off limits to law enforcement. Ransomware payment percentages, at least, are down. Have a backup cloud strategy, and we hope you had a safe Halloween. That's all I have for this week. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Find us all on LinkedIn. Links will be in the description. Follow us on Instagram at PEBCAK Podcast. Thank you to our listeners and subscribers. Rate us 5 stars on the iTunes Store and Spotify, and left us a review. We appreciate you all spreading the word to help grow the show. The best way to find us is to search for the PEBCAK Podcast in your favorite podcast listening app. My co-host Brian Deach and our guests Jamin Humes and Ben Coral. I'm Chris Lloyd. Thanks for listening. We'll see you all next weekend. As always, have a nice day.
Have a nice day.